All right, so looking at distributive property. So distributive property is just distributing a number dealing with multiplication to two different numbers. It's usually represented with parentheses, as you see here. You've got the 4 plus 5, and we distribute the 9 to the 4 and the 5, and then this is how you'd write it. 9 times 4 plus 9 times 5. Okay, same thing with multiplication down below here. You follow the same steps, except now there's a minus in between the two instead of an addition. And so, kind of how this looks when you have variables, just stating that if you have a times parentheses b plus c, that is equal to a times b plus a times c. So once again, you distribute the a to both terms, and you're multiplying both terms by that. So we can use this distributive property to help when we multiply large numbers, and then also when we get into more algebraic equations. But so here we've got 6 times 47, so we can rewrite that as 6 times 40 plus 7. Then we can distribute the 6 to both those terms, which gives us 6 times 40 plus 6 times 7. So now 6 times 4 is 24. With it being a 0, you just add a 0. So this becomes 240. Whoops. Let me put this over here, 240. And then 6 times 7 is 42. So now we have two numbers that are easier to add. And you can take 240 plus 42 is going to be 282. The 2 plus 0 is 2, the 4 plus 4 is 8, and then there's nothing to add to the 200. So that gives us our answer. Okay, so same thing with 7 times 34. So you can set it up, regular multiplication, or you can use the distributive property and take 7 times 30 plus 4, and then break that up into 7 times 30 plus 7 times 4. And now 7 times 3 is 21, plus the 0 gives us 210. 7 times 4 is 28. So now we can just add these numbers. So 0 plus 8 is going to give us 8. 2 plus 1 is going to give us 3. And there's nothing to add to the 2. So there we've solved for 238. So we can use this to help us do mental math when we're multiplying larger numbers. Break it into easier numbers that we know we can multiply, and then add those sums together. Okay, so once again, what we're doing is we're splitting the larger number into 2. So down here, 4 times 82, we split 82 into 80 plus 2. 80 plus 2 is going to give us our 82 value right here. Okay, now the second is we distribute that 4. So we multiply both terms in parentheses by 4. So you have 4 times 80 plus 4 times 2. So that's the distributing part. So we split it up, split the large number up, and then we distribute the 4 to both of those terms. When we distribute, that means we're multiplying both terms by that value. In this case, it was 4. Okay, and so now this can carry over into solving for unknowns. So when we start seeing variables, if it's an x plus 2, and we're going to times that by 5, so same thing, we're going to distribute that 5 to both terms. So we go 5 times x plus 5 times 2. 5 times x just stays as 5x. And anytime you have a variable by a or next to a constant or a whole number, that's just saying that you're multiplying that 5x, or you have x 5 times, so that'd be 5 times x. And then 5 times 2 just gives us 10. So here we've distributed and simplified this as much as we can. Okay, so one more. So same thing, we distribute the 3 to both terms. So now this is 3 times x plus 3 times b. And once again, when we have variables and whole numbers, we can drop the parentheses and just write as 3x plus 3b. Once again, when it's a variable next to a whole number, that means you're multiplying that variable by that whole number. And that's it for distributing and using the distributive property.